long before the pyramids reached toward the sun and long before pharaohs carved their names into stone, a single goddess stood at the center of Egyptian belief, weaving together magic, motherhood, kingship, and the mystery of resurrection. Her name was Isis, Aset, the throne, the enchantress, the divine mother whose presence shaped not just myth, but the very identity of ancient Egypt. Her story begins in the shadowy dawn of creation, when the world was still young and the gods had not yet settled into their eternal roles. Born to Geb, the earth, and Nut, the sky, Isis entered existence with a quiet intensity. Unlike some gods who burst into the world with thunder, she arrived with intelligence, patience, and a power that did not demand attention but commanded it through wisdom. She was the sister of Osiris, Seth, and Nephthys, 4 deities who would define the drama of divine family and cosmic order for millennia. As the myths tell it, Isis and Osiris were bound by love from their earliest days. Osiris, noble and just, became king of Egypt, bringing civilization, agriculture, and order to humanity. Isis ruled beside him, not as a distant consort but as the heart of the kingdom, a goddess who taught women the arts of weaving, healing, and the sacred rites of marriage. She was revered for her empathy and her subtle strength, for the way she bridged divine and mortal worlds. Under their rule, Egypt flourished. But harmony rarely lasts long among gods. Seth, their brother, wild and unpredictable as the desert storms he embodied, envied Osiris's peace. He resented Isis's wisdom, and in his growing anger, he plotted a betrayal that would echo across time. One evening, Seth hosted a feast for the gods. He presented a magnificent chest, crafted to the exact measurements of Osiris. Declaring that he would gift it to whoever fit inside, he invited each guest to try. When Osiris lay down inside it, Seth slammed the lid shut, sealed it with molten lead, and cast it into the Nile. In that moment, the age of prosperity ended. The chest drifted down the river, carrying Osiris toward his death, and the world dimmed. But Isis was not a goddess who accepted fate. Driven by love, grief, and unwavering determination, she began a long, tireless search to find her husband's body and restore balance to the world. The myths describe her wandering through marshes, deserts, and foreign lands, guided by whispers of magic and the cries of birds. Isis was more than a wife in mourning. She was the greatest sorceress of the gods, a being whose words could bend reality and whose tears caused the Nile to overflow. When she finally discovered Osiris's body lodged in the trunk of a great tree in Byblos, she brought him home to Egypt. But Seth found the body once more, and in a fury, tore it into 14 pieces and scattered them across the land. What followed became one of the most enduring tales of devotion in human myth. Isis, joined by her sister Nephthys, searched the length of Egypt to retrieve each piece. Where she found them, the ancient Egyptians believed sacred temples rose, marking places touched by divine sorrow and love. Piece by piece, she assembled Osiris again. Through ritual, magic, and the power of her voice, said to be strong enough to awaken gods, she breathed life back into him. Osiris could no longer reign in the mortal world, but Isis's power restored him enough for one final union. From that sacred moment, she conceived a son, Horus, who would one day challenge Seth and reclaim the throne of Egypt. Through this story, Isis became more than a goddess of magic. She became the embodiment of resurrection, the keeper of secrets, the mother who protects her child at any cost. The image of Isis sheltering the infant Horus became one of the most iconic symbols in Egyptian art, wings spread wide, arms embracing, the perfect image of maternal devotion and divine protection. Seth, enraged by the prophecy surrounding Horus, tried to destroy him. Yet Isis hid the child in the marshes of the Nile Delta, shielding him with spells and disguises, calling on scorpions and divine spirits to guard him from harm. Over time, Horus grew strong enough to challenge Seth for the rightful rule of Egypt. The struggle that followed lasted 80 years, filled with battles, trickery, and trials before the Council of Gods. Throughout it all, Isis guided her son with wisdom and cunning, intervening when his anger clouded his judgment and soothing disputes that threatened cosmic order. At last, the gods declared Horus victorious. He ascended as king of Egypt, fulfilling the destiny Isis had fought so fiercely to preserve. Osiris, meanwhile, descended to the underworld, becoming its peaceful ruler, the immortal king who welcomes the dead and ensures the cycle of life continues. And Isis, having restored balance and lineage, became the eternal symbol of protection and the righteous force behind kingship itself. Every pharaoh from then on was considered the living Horus, and every coronation invoked Isis, for she was the throne upon which all power rested. Her very name means the seat, reminding the world that no ruler governed without her blessing. Yet Isis was not only a goddess of royalty and magic. She was also a deity of the everyday, a protector of mothers, a healer of the sick, a guardian of the vulnerable. Temples dedicated to her spread far beyond Egypt, reaching Nubia, Greece, Rome, and throughout the Mediterranean world. Her cult became one of the most popular and enduring of all ancient religions. Even in the late Roman Empire, long after many Egyptian gods had faded, worship of Isis remained strong. People prayed to her for safe travel, childbirth, fertility, and wisdom. In her temples, priests performed rituals filled with music, incense, and the recitation of mysteries said to reveal the secrets of life and death. In many ways, Isis became the ancient world's universal mother. Her imagery, mother and child, wings of protection, divine compassion, influenced art and belief systems for centuries. Some scholars see echoes of her symbolism in later religious iconography, though her identity remains uniquely her own. The goddess of magic, love, and perseverance who never bowed to despair. She represents the power of devotion, the strength of feminine divinity, and the eternal truth that love can conquer even death itself. As we look back across thousands of years, Isis stands not just as a figure of myth, but as a testament to the human imagination, a reminder that stories shape civilizations, and that the divine often manifests in compassion, resilience, and the quiet strength of those who heal rather than destroy. The world she touched, the world her myths helped define, still echoes with her wisdom. And in the memory of Isis, the mother, the magician, the queen, the ancient world continues to speak. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel and activate the notifications.